So in this tutorial we're just going to look at how you can use the drawing tree on the left hand side of the screen to navigate your way around your drawings and locate dimensions or datum features or even views themselves. So yeah, this is the tutorial. If you want to follow along with the PDF, you need to be setting your working directory in the drawing tree folder. So we'll do that now. So here we are in drawing and then tree folder, and then we're going to loading the drawing tree drawing that is in that folder. So drawing_tree.drw. So just load that one in. You can see that we've got this simple bracket part. We've got various projected views. There's a section here, I think. Oh no, that's an auxiliary view. And we've got various dimensions and some datum features and tables in the sheet. So the drawing tree is this section of the screen over here. And initially we can just have a look at the info that we can get out of that. We can select the views over here. So these views have been named by the user that set this drawing up, but we've looked at how you do that yourself. So if we click on the front view, you can see that it highlights in the graphics window which view that's referring to. So you can do that with any of the views, and you can see it's just an easy way to locate in the graphics window which view you've clicked on over here. So if we right click on one of the views, you can see that we get a menu of options up. We could delete that view. There's various other options. Clean up dimensions is quite a useful one. So if you watch this view here that we've got selected, watch the positions of these dimensions. If we click on clean up and then apply, you can see that it sort of bunches them into a standard spacing away from the model. So that can be quite useful if you've got multiple dimensions there and you've just dropped them in arbitrary places. You can get the system to clean them up. And you can play with the increments or the space in here, so that's quite a useful thing to be able to do. But there's various other options in there. You can move views to other sheets, you can rename views, there's all sorts of options available to you in there. The next tool that we're going to look at, if we had the layout tab selected there, but if you select the table tab, you can see that any tables on the current sheet become visible up here. So you can see in this sheet that we've got 3 tables. So again, if we locate them on the sheet just by clicking on them here and seeing which bit of the sheet highlights, part of the title block here has been created as a table. If we click on table 2, this other section of the title block has been created as a separate table, and then table 3 is this genuine table up here showing holes, diameters and lengths and things like that. So again, if we right click, let's say on table 3 here, you can see that we have various options: copy and cut, delete. We can change the text style in the table as well, so we can play with the font type and the font sizing and all that sort of thing. We can turn wrap text on and off, so if the cells get slightly too small for the text, it will wrap round onto the following line. Height and width of the overall height and width of the table. The rotation, if you wanted a table that ran up the side of the sheet here, you could do that. The type of line display, you can play with the thickness of the lines and things like that. You can move it to different sheets or rename it. So there's all various options for editing the table options in there as well. So the last component that you're likely to want to use in your drawings, apart from the drawing views and tables, is anything that comes under the heading of annotations. So if we select the annotate tab next and see what happens to our drawing tree, you can see that within each view subsections have been added. So if we just open one of these up, we've got annotations on the front view there, which we can select. These are dimensions. You can see that they've got a little icon showing a linear dimension with arrows on each end and a little D1 underneath. So you can see as I select them again, they highlight in the graphics view here. So if I just select a few there, you can see them highlighting. But there are some here that are greyed out. and these have been hidden. So you can see this D2 that I'm selecting here, it becomes visible, this 18, when I click on it, but when I click off on another part of the sheet it disappears again. And that's because these dimensions have been brought through from the part model itself, and some of them are required on these views and others aren't. So you can hide and show these dimensions. So if we right click on this hidden one here, we can click on unerase and then it's visible permanently. But we don't want that, so we're going to right click on it again and hit erase. So there's a difference there between erase and delete. Delete, it's almost impossible to bring the dimension back again without re-importing all the dimensions from the model. So it's far wiser to just erase them, and then you can view them in the drawing tree here, and if you need to bring one of them back you can just hit the unerase option there. So other types of annotations that you might have in there are datum features. We have some datum features in here. So if we open up that datums tab, we've got an axis that's been brought through. So if we select that and just see what highlights, so you can see the center of this hole. Because we're looking at that axis end on, we get a center mark there, and that one's shown. There's some other axes in the model. There's an axis over here, an angled axis, and that's on the auxiliary view. So let's try and find that in our design tree. Yes, there it is. So because this auxiliary view is taken from this view, and this view is the so here's the axis there, and you can see that we have lots of other datum features in that view that have been hidden because they're not required. They're either shown on other views or they're just not necessary for this view here. But we have got this cylinder one visible as well. And again, on datum features, if you right click, these can be erased or deleted if necessary, renamed. So yeah, you can access that options menu if you just right click.